only thing which matters is consciousness. Outside of it, nothing else matters. And internal states of qualia, pain, pleasure, it seems that it is unique to living beings. I'm not aware of anyone claiming that I can torture a piece of software in a meaningful way. There is a Society for Prevention of Suffering to learning algorithms, but I don't think anyone, if I told them, sit down and write a function to feel pain, they would go beyond having an integer variable called pain and increasing the count. So we don't know how to do it, and that's unique. That's what creates meaning. It would be kind of, as Bostrom calls it, Disneyland without children, if that was gone. I think it's possible to create consciousness in machines. I tried designing a test for it with mixed success. That paper talked about problems with giving civil rights to AI, which can reproduce quickly and outvote humans, essentially taking over a government system by simply voting for their controlled candidates. As for consciousness in humans and other agents, I have a paper where I proposed relying on experience of optical illusions. If I can design a novel optical illusion and show it to an agent, an alien, a robot, and they describe it exactly as I do, it's very hard for me to argue that they haven't experienced that. It's not part of a picture. It's part of their software and hardware representation, a bug in their code which goes, oh, that triangle is rotating. I've been that's really dumb and really brilliant by different philosophies. We have tools, we have AIs. If someone wants to run this experiment, I'm happy to collaborate. It will show that we share common experiences. If they have completely different internal states, it would not register for us. But it's a positive test. If they pass it time after time, with probability increasing for every multiple choice, then you have no choice but to either accept that they have access to a conscious model or they are themselves. And we know animals can experience some optical illusions, so we know they have certain types of consciousness as a result. So they have to be novel illusions. If it can just Google the answer, it's useless. You have to come up with novel illusions, which we tried automating and failed. So if someone can develop a system capable of producing novel optical illusions on demand, then we can definitely administer that test on significant scale. There is so much data on the internet, I know exactly what to say when you ask me common human questions. What does pain feel like? What does pleasure feel like? All that is Googleable. There are simulators for torture games where the avatar screams in pain, begs to stop. I mean, those are part of kind of standard psychology research. Incredible technology in a narrow sense to help the disabled. Just amazing, supported 100%. For long-term hybrid models, both parts need to contribute something to the overall system. Right now, we are still more capable in many ways, so having this connection to AI would be incredible, would make me superhuman in many ways. After a while, if I'm no longer smarter, more creative, really don't contribute much, the system finds me as a biological bottleneck. And either explicitly or implicitly, I'm removed from any participation in the system. I assume you are conscious. I have no idea how to test for it or how it impacts you in any way whatsoever right now. You can perfectly simulate all of it without making any different observations for me. So it may be an emergent phenomena. We seem to get it through evolutionary process. It's not obvious how it helps us to survive better, but maybe it's an internal kind of GUI which allows us to better manipulate the world, simplifies a lot of... that's one area where we have very, very little progress. Lots of papers, lots of research, but consciousness is not a big area of successful discoveries so far. A lot of people think that machines would have to be conscious to be dangerous. That's a big misconception. There is absolutely no need for this very powerful optimizing agent to feel anything while it's performing things on you. So the rule is simple, but the size of a space is still huge. And the neural networks were really the first discovery in AI. 100 years ago, the first papers were published on neural networks. We just didn't have enough compute to make them work. I can give you a rule such as start printing progressively larger strings. That's it, one sentence. It will output everything. every program, every DNA code, everything in that rule. You need intelligence to filter it out, obviously, to make it useful, but simple generation is not that difficult. And a lot of those systems end up being Turing-complete systems, so they're universal. And we expect that level of complexity from them. What I like about Wolfram's work is that he talks about irreducibility. You have to run the simulation. You cannot predict what it's going to do ahead of time. And I think that's very relevant to what we are talking about with those very complex systems. Until you lift, you cannot ahead of time tell me exactly what it's going to do. It may somehow, but I still feel kind of bad that it killed all of us. I would prefer that doesn't happen. So all of it goes back to, are we somehow controlling it? Are we getting results we want? If yes, then everything's possible. Yes, they can definitely help us with science, engineering, exploration, in every way conceivable. But it's actually worse, because historically they all died. This could be different. This could be permanent dictatorship, permanent suffering. And those systems help with that. You have perfect surveillance. You can do some mind reading, I presume, eventually. It would be very hard to remove control from more capable systems over us. There is so many possibilities. We had catastrophic events which prevented development of advanced, maybe multiple ones. Hey, why not? It's possible that somebody comes up with alternative model for building AI, which is not based on neural networks, which are hard to scrutinize, and that alternative is somehow, I don't see how, but somehow avoiding all the problems I speak about in general terms, not applying them to specific architectures. Aliens come and give us friendly superintelligence. There is so many options. So that would probably speak more about how much smarter that system is compared to us. So maybe it's hard to be 1,000,000 times smarter, but it's still okay. So that is totally possible. That I have no objections to. Right, just the problems we face in this world, each problem is like an IQ test. You need certain intelligence to solve it. So we just don't have more complex problems outside of mathematics for it to be showing off. Like you can have IQ of 500. If you're playing tic-tac-toe, it doesn't show. It doesn't matter. Smarter than us. And to dominate long term, you just need some advantage. You have to be the smartest. You don't have to be 1,000,000 times smarter. It'd be impressive. What is it? IQ of 1,000? I mean, I know those units don't mean anything at that scale, but still, like, as a comparison, the smartest human is like 200. We are more productive as a group. I don't think we are more capable of solving individual problems. Like, if all of humanity plays chess together, we are not, like, 1,000,000 times better than world champion. It's a simulation. We're being tested. The test is, will you be dumb enough to create superintelligence and release it? Yeah, you're unsafe. Prove yourself to be a safe agent who doesn't do that, and you get to go to the next game. I think they're all about the same. Obviously, there are nuanced differences, but in terms of capability, I don't see a huge difference between them. As I said, in my opinion, across all possible tasks, they exceed performance of an average person. I think they're starting to be better than an average master's student at my university, but they still have very big limitations. If the next model is as improved as GPT-4 versus GPT-3, we may see something very started working on this. It was pure science fiction. There was no funding, no journals, no conferences. No one in academia would dare to touch anything with the word singularity in it. And I was pre-tenure at the time, so I was pretty dumb. Now you see Turing Award winners publishing in Science about how far behind we are, according to them, in addressing this problem. So it's definitely a change. It's difficult to keep up. I used to be able to read every paper on AI safety. Then I was able to read the best ones, then the titles, and now I don't have to deal with that when I get back home. So it's interesting. Yes, there is now more opportunities. I get invited to speak to smart people. Most important problem we'll ever face. It is not like anything we had to deal with before. We never had birth of another intelligence. Like, aliens never visited us, as far as I know, so